Hello again, guys. Welcome back again to my channel. So last night I watched the movie Blue Story, which was directed and narrated by Rapman. Um, and I actually haven't seen a movie in a very long time, but last night I had an opportunity to be able to see the movie. And there were some things that I wrote down a number of things, but there were two things particularly that stood as I made note on that I really was reflecting on, and I wanted to share with you. And I thought maybe they might be able to add something to your life. Maybe there might be something for you to think about in your own life. Maybe something that you haven't really thought about, and you might want to take inventory on in your own life. And hopefully, the two things that I'm going to share with you can add some value to the quality of your life so that they can help you to become a higher, fuller expression of who you're capable of becoming. Right, so the first thing that I wrote down as I was watching this movie is about the fact that um, we live in a world today where we know exactly what women need. We know how to protect women. We know what women want out of life. But I think one of the things that has been neglected over the last kind of 20 to 30 years is what men need, right? And I think it's pretty much universal across the pretty much most of the globe, whether we're talking about India, Japan, China. I think it's pretty universal that most men need sex, right? That isn't something which men want, men need to have sex. But beyond that, I was thinking, as I was watching this movie, I was thinking about the fact that there are so many other needs that men have that in today's society we just don't address. That in today's society we are not, as people, as me and you, as brothers, as sisters, as um, people of the community, of people who are living in the world, we're not addressing. For example, one of the things that I think that, in fact, I wrote down three things here that I was thinking about just off the top of my head that men need. Number one, men need camaraderie, right? We need friendship. We need to be able to bond with other men. We need to be able to have um, an area where we can compete against each other in a friendly manner. Why? Because that make gives, in a sense, gives us makes raises our self-esteem. It builds confidence in us. It makes us feel like we're not alone. Gives us a situation where we can see other people who are like us, and we learn how to behave and how not to behave. What else? Banter. Men, we need banter. We need friends. We need people who understand us, people who get us, people who we can rely on. And actually, I think we're living in a world today where a lot of us guys, the only person that we have in our lives that we can rely on is ourselves. And it's no surprise that the suicide rate is going through the roof, because if you have nobody else to count on, if you have nobody else to support you, if you have nobody else who you can trust, that is a major problem. What else? Respect. Men need to feel like they're respected, and part of that comes from competence. Part of that comes from being having self-esteem in yourself, in being good at stuff, in participating in life, in meeting people in social events, and actually engaging with people. All of those build respect for yourself, right? And I think that a lot of men just don't have that today. What else? Direction. Meaning, we need somebody to say to us, okay, this is how to be a man. Okay, this is how you fix your bike. Okay, this is how you build confidence. This is how you make money. Um, and as much as the internet is a wonderful thing, and the internet is um, got loads of information where we can get loads of information about love, about relationships, about confidence, about self-esteem, the reality is that the internet will never be as good as actually having somebody there, such as your father, such as an uncle, such as your grandparents, to actually teach you this a sense of direction, this sense of purpose, and help you cultivate that sense of purpose. And I was just thinking, as I was watching the movie, I was just thinking about how many of us we don't. We're so busy trying to fulfill women's needs. We're so busy trying not to upset everybody that we're actually neglecting our own needs. And I would ask you to consider in your own life and ask yourself, have you actually been taking care of your basic needs? Have you, as a man, I get it, you want to be a good person. I get it that you want to be somebody who's liked. I get it that you want to be somebody who doesn't cause loads of problems for other people. But are you doing that at the expense of yourself, right? Part of the reason why I think is part of the reason why I think there's been such an increase and such a dramatic increase in the amount of number of young men who are committing suicide is that so many men are not taking care of ourselves. We're not putting ourselves first. We're putting everybody else first. We're tailoring ourselves, our philosophies, our ideologies to fit around other people, and we're not actually looking after ourselves and actually standing on the morals that we believe. Many of us don't have integrity with ourselves. We say one thing, but actually we feel something completely different. And actually, I think if you look at why there are so many women who are strong, who are independent, who are powerful, who are well educated, who are doing well in life, part of the reason why that is because they're putting themselves before anybody else, right? And that's why you've seen such an increase in the amount of women who are graduating from university because they're putting their education first. My question to you is, are you putting yourself first in terms of your fitness, in terms of your education, in terms of your career development? Because a lot of the problems that us men we experience in life can be solved simply by working on those basic fundamentals: your confidence, your fitness, your career, your accumulation of wealth. You start sorting out all those few areas in life, those few fundamentals and principles, and all of a sudden it makes your life so much easier. So that's just something that I was thinking about, and I don't know whether you can relate to that or whether you've thought about that recently. I'd love to hear from you. By the way, my goal is to try and get to 1,000 subscribers by June. So I'd love for you to help me get on that journey. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, guys, to help me along my journey. The second thing that I was thinking about is that if you are not an alpha of your life, then you will become the beta. You will become the victim of your life. I'm writing this book at the moment, which is about lessons that I have learned leading up to my 30th birthday. And one of the things that I talk about in that life is in that book, is that every single one of us as people have a battle that we have to fight. That battle might be alcohol, it might be a battle to do with our parents. No matter what we do, we never get affirmation from our parents. Our parents never love us. No matter how great we are as kids, one of our parents just never accepts us for who we are. That may be gambling, it may be our self-esteem, it may be something that we don't like about our body. Whatever it may be, every single person on this planet, my theory is that we all have one thing that we're fighting. And here's what I'm going to share with you. If you do not beat that battle, if you do not do whatever you need to do in order to overcome it, it will kill you. Okay? And I say that to you because I've had people and I've met people who've really struggled with their weight. Every other area of their life is actually pretty good, but their weight. Or I've met people who are every other area of their life is actually brilliant, but the one area which they really struggle is their mental health or is their relationships. They've got everything else. They've got a great career, but they just struggle to be able to sustain a relationship. And what I'm going to share with you is a lot of the unhappiness, a lot of the problems that we as men experience comes from the fact that we don't conquer our battles, right? We don't fight. We don't go to war. We don't rage a war against the parts of ourselves which we need to be able to manage, and if we don't manage them, then they cause all kind of havoc across our lives. So for example, to give you an example of what I mean by this, I realized probably only when I was about 24 years of age that essentially my battle was alcohol. Okay? I can't drink alcohol because I just cannot handle it. Every time I drink alcohol, I'm not like, there are some people who say, well, drink water, have a pint, then have a pint, have a pint of beer or a shot or whatever, then have some water, or only have 6 pints and then quit. I'm not one of those people. I can't do it. I'm one of these people where I just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. I can't have 1 pint, and then the next thing I know is I wake up the next day and I blacked out and I don't remember anything that happened. And my thing now is I just don't drink. I may drink on somebody's wedding and celebrate with a glass of champagne, but apart from that, I don't drink. I've made it my rule not to, because I can't. I have to be able to manage it, and every single time that I drink alcohol, it causes loads and loads of chaos and turbulence around my life. And part of that is what I'm trying to suggest to you, and it's something that I ask you to think about in your own life, is, are there aspects of your life which you are currently being the victim and you are the victim of, instead of you being an alpha, instead of you being the king, instead of you being the lion in, where you need to be able to manage these areas, okay? As I was watching Blue Story, there is one of the characters in there, and in fact many of the characters were doing things because they were being influenced by people, right? They were being dragged into things that they weren't supposed to be involved in, because they were so focused on trying to please other people, on trying to fit in, on trying to look like the big man, that they neglected fighting the battles with themselves in order to get themselves to a position where they didn't get convoluted in this world, which is going to cause all kinds of problems for them. And it's just something that I was thinking about, and I don't know whether you can relate to that, or you agree with me on that, or you disagree, but it's just something that I was thinking about you have to manage the areas of your life which are difficult, the areas of your life which cause a lot of chaos. And all of us have these areas, right? You know that if you don't handle your weight, it causes all kinds of problems for you. It causes problems with your self-esteem. It causes problems with you getting a partner. Like it just becomes this tornado which causes all kinds of issues, and then you get into a position where it's like you take 3 steps forward and then you take 100 backwards, and it's like, what is going on? And I don't know what you think about that. I'd love to hear what your comments. So comment below, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, guys.